Hello, everybody, and a warm welcome to you from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Highmark Stadium tonight for a big matchup in the Eastern Conference of the USL Championship. It is the Pittsburgh Riverhounds against the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder on hand for this one. It's presented by Allegheny Health Network. And Marion, we look at the standings in the East to begin. First hosts third tonight in the Steel City.
Yeah, what a matchup we have. Bob Lilly's side sitting at the top of the table. Charleston unable to get it done last night against the Oakland Roots. But really, Tampa Bay is the team to beat. Walks into this one a game in hand. The Rowdies have the potential tonight to take the #1 spot.
We will see if they can do that, but Pittsburgh at home has been one tough nut to crack this season. Memphis had a 2-0 lead here last time out. Pittsburgh came back to win by 2.
Yeah, honestly, it was a poor start from Pittsburgh and a dream start for Memphis, capitalizing on a few chances they had. Going up in this one 2-0 heading into the first half. But Sean, that's only part of the story. The Riverhounds came out a different team in the second half. Center back getting on the score sheet first. Joe Farrell doing what needs to be done, followed by the longtime Riverhound, Danny Rivera, proving he truly can do it all. And then the two front runners, biggest difference in the way the Riverhounds played through that second half. Much better movement, working the center backs apart to find the space in behind. Shawonmi, Obregon Jr. making their mark on that game.
Really impressive from the Riverhounds last time out, and one of the men that scored in that game, Juan Obregon Jr., scored his first goal with the club and looks to continue to make a big impact for Bob Lilly's group.
I mean, how impressive has he been? It feels like he is just so comfortable in his role now. You saw him, once he starts to pull apart center backs and stretch the back line vertically, that man can do it all.
But the Rowdies are pretty darn good themselves, coming off a dominant 3-0 win over Tulsa last time out.
Absolutely, dominant performance, could not have said it better. All done by the players, because you know what? They just welcomed in a new head coach that same week, did not miss a beat. Knocking down a red-hot FC Tulsa at home, knocked them right on their side. It was an explosive offensive performance through the last 75 minutes, really. Antley, Ekra, that man Charlie Dennis that you saw earlier, instrumental in the way that this team moves through the final third.
Let's take a closer look at the pride of Brighton, England himself, Charlie Dennis, who's just been red-hot for the Rowdies.
He is a player that has really come to life with this Rowdies team. He is going to play underneath in that number 10 position and really work to connect with the two front up top.
This is the blockbuster matchup in the USL Championship. This week, first in the East, hosts third in the East at one of the best venues in the USL Championship. We'll be back at Highmark for the kickoff between Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay. It is all coming up next.
At AHN, we see you when everything's going great, and when that's not the case at all.
Hey, how you feeling?
We see you needing expert care every single day, and excited for all that's to come. At AHN, we see you.
This is the life.
Hey, Gus, we're gonna play horse.
How about a game of Gus? Winner gets the PA Lottery's $3 million fun fortune.
Yeah. I won!
Actually, you both did. Keep on scratching. Cannonball!
Get fast, reliable Xfinity Internet, and you can add a whole new way to watch the entertainment you love. Introducing Now TV, the best value in live TV and streaming, just $20 a month. Get over 40 live channels, plus watch movies, shows, and live sports with Peacock Premium included at no extra cost.
Now.
Start watching in minutes, all with no annual contract. Get Xfinity Internet for $25 per month for 12 months and add Now TV with Peacock Premium included for just $20 a month.
Okay, this is really happening. We're going to the Museum of Play. Do I start in the video game arcade, go to the aquarium, play superhero, or visit Sesame Street? What about the train? Legos, spaceships, giant puppets. We're not even out of the driveway and I'm already freaking out. Ah!
With so much to do and see, everyone loves the Strong National Museum of Play in Rochester, New York.
Tonight's match is presented by Allegheny Health Network, the official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC. Sean and Marion back here with you, getting you set for Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay. We get into the starting lineups, brought to you by Armina Stone. Here's Bob Lilly's 11.
Yeah, Bob Lilly in that 5-3-2. His wing backs, Luke Biasi and Danny Rivera, are going to be really important in tonight's matchup. The middle three of the normal, Kenardo Forbes, Danny Griffin, Mark Barra, and then the two up top, Dikwa back in the lineup, and Shawanmi going to play underneath him.
On the other side of the ticket for Tampa Bay Rowdies, second game in charge for Nicky Law, looking to make it 2 wins out of 2.
Yeah, the big one here is that Forrest Lasso out on yellow card accumulation, so Freddie Kleinman steps in for him in the center of the back line. Jan Ekra, Jordan Doherty, they are such a great pairing. And then Charlie Dennis, talked about him in the open, acting as that number 10 tonight to play underneath the front two of Jake LaCava and JJ Williams.
You're not going to get many better matchups this weekend in the USL Championship. Number 1 in the East, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds against one of their challengers in the East, the third place. Tampa Bay Rowdies are hoping to get back to another Eastern Conference Championship game and maybe further this season in the USL Championship. Jeremy Shear is our center official, and we await the sound of his whistle. Pittsburgh are in their black and yellows. We've become accustomed to seeing them. And the Tampa Bay Rowdies are in their road whites with the black trim. Another great atmosphere at Highmark, and we are underway from the Steel City. Pittsburgh looking to continue to put some distance between themselves and the rest of their Eastern Conference competitors at the top of the table. The Tampa Bay Rowdies are trying to chase them down. It is a big head-to-head meeting tonight in Pittsburgh. We can't wait to bring it to you. The Riverhounds have only lost once here all season in all competitions. The Tampa Bay Rowdies, no matter where they go, are a big, big threat. We can't wait to see how this plays out tonight. Early ball whipped into the penalty area, looking for JJ Williams. Cleared away by Pittsburgh's stingy back line. An early throw in for Tampa Bay on the far side. Last time the Rowdies came to Pittsburgh, they got their first ever win at Highmark. Last season, they won by 5-2. Not many come here and put up that kind of a mark. But Pittsburgh at Highmark, so tough this season. A myriad of big-time teams have come here. The USL Championship, Columbus Crew came here in the Open Cup. They lost. So Bob Lilly's group tends to win here, and they tend to beat the best here as well. Back for Dos Santos, who tried to thread a pass through. He gives it away. Tampa Bay regained possession. Jordan Doherty will restart the play at the back. Ibarra getting tangled up there with Jan Ekra. And it's picked off. Nice step in defensively by Danny Rivera, who scored the second goal for Pittsburgh in their 4-2 win against Memphis last time out. Threaded through again by Nathan Dos Santos. There's King Kenny, Kenardo Forbes. Ordonez. Near side Rivera looking for Danny Griffin. Poking it over the top for Shawanmi, but it's well read defensively by the goalkeeper, Connor Sparrow.
Love that early look. Danny Griffin just getting into the half space. A cheeky little ball over the top. Goes to show you cannot lose the front two of this Pittsburgh lineup. They play off the back shoulder of the back line so well.
Ball placed right back into the penalty area for Shawanmi. Shawanmi for Dikwa, 1-0, just like that. Simple as you like for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Shawanmi connecting beautifully with Albert Dikwa, who scores his 11th goal of the season, and the Riverhounds are off to a flying start. They lead 1-0.
This is exactly what Bob Lilly wanted to see out of his side. He has been preaching to have a good start, and I can't think of a better one than this. A goal in the opening minutes. Shawanmi doing the hard work, playing so well back to goal, holding off the defender, and then that cheeky little overlapping run. He finds him, pinpoint delivery, toe poke of a finish. And absolutely clinical right now for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
Albert Dikwa is still in this Golden Boot race, make no mistake about that. He comes up with a huge goal here to start things off for the Riverhounds. And just like that, the Rowdies are on the back foot here and they're down a goal.
Sean, you and I were talking off air at this point in the season just how important it is to be clinical in the 18-yard box and not to give up anything in your defensive 18-yard box. you don't get many chances, and as teams start to form up their defensive identity a lot more throughout the season, those chances are few and far between. Pittsburgh, they get their opening opportunity and they do not miss.
Keys to the game are brought to you by the premium light lager that embodies all things black and gold. I see light. Well, Pittsburgh has been the aggressor so far, Marion.
Absolutely nothing else to say on that one. And then for the Rowdies, they need to come in and dictate the pace. They are a team that once they get comfortable with the ball at their feet for 10 minutes, they are a really hard offensive team to break down. They have got so many weapons across various parts of the field. So right now, Pittsburgh Riverhounds doing an excellent job to keep them from gaining that rhythm.
Rowdies came off that really impressive win over a red-hot FC Tulsa last time out in Nicky Law's coaching debut after playing earlier this season for Huntsville in MLS Next Pro, the Nashville affiliate. But it's been a rude awakening in his first trip as coach to Highmark. Bob Lilly's boys land the first blow. Well, we talked with Bob Lilly in the build-up to this game and just talked about how important that Joey Farrell goal was in that Memphis comeback, and looked like at one point that Memphis could have put 3 or 4 past Pittsburgh in that first half. It didn't happen. Riverhounds stayed in it. Joey Farrell scored Pittsburgh's 1,000th goal as a franchise to make it 2-1. And as far as game time minutes are concerned, Pittsburgh ended up scoring 4 goals in 20 minutes of game action to come back and win by 2 goals in that game. And boy, if they carried that over into this game to start things out. We'll see how the Rowdies can respond. Near side, Jake Arman tried to thread a pass through. Griffin gets a boot to it, but Arman stays with it for Tampa Bay. He slices a ball across to the front of the penalty area, but in the end, Charlie Dennis couldn't get his foot to it. And Pittsburgh come back the other way through Ibarra. Ibarra ahead for Dikwa. Showanmi's in the middle. Ibarra for Forbes. It's Canardo Forbes. It opened up for him. Shot is blocked. Forbes tries to stay with it. It's LaCava who clears for Tampa Bay. Beautiful pass back in by Ordonez. Dikwa tried to flick it onto Showanmi. Tampa Bay comes out with it through Dayon Harris. Another ball threaded through. Dikwa trying to find Showanmi. Defensive work from Freddie Kleeman, essential. Cleared away by Sparrow, but Pittsburgh keep on coming. The Rowdies haven't been able to win the ball back and keep it for very long. And it's out for a throw in front of Nicky Law on the near side for Tampa Bay. We talked about it when we went through the lineups, Marion. Forrest Lasso being out with yellow card accumulation. We'll see how much that really impacts this Rowdies back line.
Well, we've already seen just how good Tola Showanmi is back to goal, and we see how dangerous Dikwa is when he stretches the back line. He can stretch him vertically, he can stretch him laterally. And Forrest Lasso really is that center back that can come in and be physical and make it difficult for front runners to play back to goal like Showanmi has shown he already can do. I think that's going to be the big question mark, is how physical can Kleeman make this game? How uncomfortable can he make those front two? And then also, how disciplined can the Rowdies back line be? And those runs and the movement off the ball. But right now, all the Rowdies need to be thinking about is how they can gain some momentum and gain some possession.
LaCava, who scored here at Highmark last season for Tampa Bay. Charlie Dennis swarmed by the Riverhounds midfield. And now Griffin on the counterattack here. Cut out defensively. Good challenge by Aaron Guillen. Forbes resets for Pittsburgh. No Lasso tonight for Tampa Bay. Lewis Hilton, Sebastian Dalgard, Zach Harivo all out with injuries. They lost Leo Fernandez to an Achilles injury. He's been out for the season for a quite some time now for Tampa Bay, so they are dealing with some pretty important players being out, although it must be said, Pittsburgh still without Elal Osumano and Michael DeShields, two of their better defenders. And Bob Lilly's group has been dealing with injuries for quite a bit of the season, but they haven't made any excuses. They've rotated the squad quite a bit, even without the Open Cup on their schedule when they made a deep run to the quarterfinals. And it has paid off big dividends for Pittsburgh. Ball's curled in, header central by Ibarra. Griffin runs onto it. Dennis gives it back to Danny Griffin. He still has not missed a professional league game as a pro player, Danny Griffin, since he came into the USL Championship 3.5 years ago. Just doesn't miss games. Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.select-sport.com and select products, specials, and more. Select is the player's choice. Show on me. It's a battle for it with Guillen. Tampa Bay does get a goal kick out of it.
And that was a great look at just how far apart the front two of Pittsburgh are pulling the Tampa Bay Rowdies back line. Shawami making that run into the corner flag, and then you saw Dikwa really peeling off the back line. And what that does is open up so much space for the midfield players in behind them to make those late runs.
Jamali Waite in goal for Pittsburgh tonight, was with the Jamaican men's national team at the Gold Cup earlier this summer. They went to the semifinal stage before being knocked out by eventual champions Mexico. We were saying before the game off the air that this is one of the more interesting coaching matchups you'll see in the USL Championship this season. Bob Lilly, the longest tenured coach in the league, against Nicky Law, who's the shortest tenured coach in the league. Bob Lilly's gotten the right start. Obviously the Rowdies have plenty of time to get back into this, but we don't get to say that every day in this league. Albert Dikwa has Pittsburgh off and running. He scored inside of the first 3 minutes. Dos Santos on the initial header, gets it back. Swarmed. Rowdies do get the ball in possession. It's a weaving run from Dayon Harris. And the Rowdies think better of it, and they recycle the possession. Armin, under pressure, gives it away. Ibarra, in behind, show on me. Tried to find Dikwa. It's laid off here. Forbes slipped as he struck it. And the Rowdies get the possession back. Now then, Dennis pings one towards La Cava, dealt with by Rivera. Ibarra's all over the place, wins a free kick. Nearly set up a chance at the other end. He comes back and does the defensive work on the backside.
Yep, you read my mind. That goal-scoring sequence, that goal-scoring opportunity that we just saw really started from the Pittsburgh Riverhounds' commitment to their defensive responsibilities. What they're doing right now is forcing the Rowdies into these small pockets of space where there's 3, 4 sometimes Riverhounds players, as we look back at that tough challenge from Mark Ibarra. But that's what's making it so difficult right now for the Rowdies to establish their possession, is just how committed individually each Pittsburgh Riverhounds player is to the defensive game plan that Bob Lilly has set before him.
Rowdies are top 5 in the USL Championship with 35 goals scored this season. They're normally year in and year out one of those top attacking sides. They are again this season. Don't count them out just yet, but the Riverhounds have been razor sharp in these first 13.5 minutes. LaCava can't quite get to it. The referee brings it back for a late challenge, and it's a Rowdies free kick. Ball didn't stop rolling. Jake Arman will retake it. Have to give our crew a salute as well for placing the crowd mic close enough so we can hear Bob Lilly mark out his orders on the near touchline. Always in the game, no matter what the score is, Bob Lilly. Very rare that he sits down during the games either here at Highmark. It's the 8th time these two have met at Highmark, and the Rowdies last year got their first ever win here. Other than that, 3 defeats and 3 draws as LaCava places it into the penalty area, dealt with by Joey Farrell, but the Rowdies get a corner.
Yep, and that was a great picture at just how difficult it's going to be to break down this Riverhounds team. They had 6 players surrounding 2 white jerseys. Jake LaCava having to go out, find himself some space near the corner flag. Charlie Dennis really the only one making the run in the box, but now a really good set piece opportunity to establish yourself.
Can the Rowdies capitalize on a set piece opportunity here? Harris gets it short from Doherty, curls in a decent ball. It's headed out to the penalty area, still not cleared. Sent a mile high into the air. Donez won the header. Jan Ekra nearly got on the end of it, and the offside flag is up.
Yep, well done by Pitt to step your line early and together on that corner kick, forcing the opposite side winger to be offside.
That ball is deflected into the path of the goal scorer, Dikwa. Biasi for Forbes. Rivera. Central, Ordonez. Well, we asked Bob Lilly about what was said at the half against Memphis. They were 2-0 down. Joey Farrell got them to 2-1 a few minutes before the end of the first half. And he said we weren't pushing the envelope enough against them. He said getting one before halftime was huge. It showed some grit. He said we had fallen behind 2-0 in the prior 2 games, and they scored a 3rd goal. We couldn't get back into the game, but he said we stopped the bleeding, and we were able to come from behind after that. And they showed incredible mental fortitude in that 4-2 win over Memphis 901 here last time out. Tampa Bay struggling with their clearance initially on this near side, but they get it away. Coming together just on the Pittsburgh side of midfield. Referee allows play to continue. Riverhounds in possession. Ordonez up ahead. Goalkeeper comes out, but Sparrow does get there in front of Shounmi. That's a foul against Griffin. Free kick for the Rowdies.
And you can see Griffin mouthing there, he backed into me. But I think that's the right call. Charlie Dennis does a great job of getting himself into position early to win that ball. Makes Danny Griffin come over the top. Excellent job there from Charlie Dennis to earn his team a free kick and a great spot on the field.
Chance for Jordan Doherty to find someone in white for Tampa Bay. Another decent ball in. Waite gets a punch to it in traffic. There's a Pittsburgh player down on the back end of that. It is Tola Shawunmi who got the worst of it.
It's a really dangerous service in from Doherty. Forcing Waite to come out, make the save, absolutely. See the contact there. Just a little shaken up, Shawunmi. Gonna have to come off.
Nikki Law looks on, and like you said, Marion, it looked like, I should say, that Waite's contact not only went through the ball, but went through Tola Shawunmi.
Hey, I've learned that lesson the hard way 1 or 2 times myself. There is not a lot that will stop a goalkeeper from coming out and claiming what he believes to be his. Can't ever fault your goalkeeper for that.
We saw with Connor Sparrow a few moments ago, right? If you're going to come out that far, you
You're
better
coming.
get it.
Yeah, you are coming.
Both goalkeepers
Absolutely.
got there in the end in their respective decisions.
Yep, Shawunmi back on now, though.
Nearly right back into the action. And again, Connor Sparrow a mile off his line, but he does get there to clear it upfield for Tampa Bay. Further sent ahead by Jan Ekra, but picked off by Luke Biasi.
It's interesting from Sparrow. A couple times we've seen him come so high off his line. And the Riverhounds have the attacking prowess to be able to put a ball in the back line where it's paced just enough. Puts himself in a foot race up there with the likes of someone like Shawunmi Dikwa. That's not a foot race if you're Tampa Bay that you really care to see.
The Riverhounds would like to wish a very happy birthday to
Rowdies get a free kick.
Evan, Ashton, Braden, Casey, Jesse, and Diane. Birthdays are brought to you
All the way back
by
for
All
Kleeman.
providing everything you need to create birthday memories of your own.
Rowdies have been able to settle things down a little bit since the opening Pittsburgh onslaught. Can they benefit from it in the attack? Harris from Dennis floats it into the penalty area, and it's well held by Jamali Waite.
Much better from Tampa Bay, getting the ball off their foot early enough so those little pockets, those channels that we talked about for Pittsburgh don't have time to form. You can play little combinations much easier that way. And Harris is a player I'd taken a foot race with almost anybody on the field.
Forbes always seems to be pulling the strings for the Riverhounds. Griffin floated forward by Ordonez, and it curls nicely into the path of Dikwa. He was looking for a foul, not been given. Tampa Bay plays on through Jan Ekra. Further up ahead by Doherty. Shawunmi helping out defensively. Rowdies recycle the possession through Kleeman. Must be interesting to be in Nicky Law's position. He was playing earlier this year with Huntsville in MLS Next Pro. Neil Collins moves on to play, or I should say to coach, beg your pardon, for Barnsley in the English football pyramid overseas. And Nicky Law gets the chance to take over at Tampa Bay. And he was, to be fair, under Jack Collison, a player coach with Huntsville as the offside flag is up against Albert Dikwa. But you play Tulsa on opening night at Al Lang, and then your second assignment is Bob Lilly, Pittsburgh away.
Hey, he's already met one of those challenges. You know, Tulsa came into Tampa Bay red hot.
Yes, they did.
You know, 5 unbeaten or so, and absolutely just unlocking teams in the attacking third. And it was not an easy game, and one that Tampa Bay made look very, very easy. A lot of that's credit to the players, right? You got to give some credit to the professionalism that they showed amidst the change, didn't miss a beat on the field. But Nicky Law, he's going to be a player's coach. He's been in their shoes in just about every sense of the word.
And Nicky Law said in the Tampa Bay game notes that were handed out before the game that, you know, they know how tough this challenge is. Not many come to Pittsburgh, especially this year, and leave with a positive result. Only Indy 11 has come here and won in all competitions, so they know how tough of a task this is, and didn't get off to the best of starts, but they're starting to settle into the game as we speak. Rivera in for Shawunmi. Griffin does well in tight quarters to keep that possession alive. Rivera again with 2 on him, gets it to Griffin on the overlap. Griffin back to Rivera. Rivera's crossed into the middle, looking for Dikwa, just over his leap. Farrell resets. Ibarra tried to slither his way through, dispossessed. Lacava from Ekra. Back for Farrell. Pittsburgh in their 4-2 win over Memphis. 3 goal scorers for Pittsburgh that hadn't scored for the Hounds all season. Of course, Juan Obregon Jr. gets his debut goal in that victory. And then Tola Shawunmi, who in some ways is Albert Dikwa's understudy, got the 4th. Farrell leads the break here for the Hounds. Rivera across the face of goal, and the header is skied over the top by Dikwa.
Sparrow giving his players an earful. Don't blame him. Absolutely no way that there should be an unmarked player in the box. Dana Rivera, what a service. And Dikwa just on that back post. Unmarked, uncontested. He's going to be wanting that one back, one he normally puts in the back of the net. And Tampa Bay, I tell you what, is lucky to be out of this just 1-0.
Well, Tampa Bay, it appears, is going to have to make a change here. Aaron Guillen is struggling here. Tampa Bay's captain, and Abel Caputo, he's getting set to come on for the Rowdies. That is the last thing that Tampa Bay would have wanted this early in the game, personnel-wise. Both teams will take a break while Guillen is being attended to, and this is how the game started for the Riverhounds inside of 3 minutes.
Yeah, what a dream start for the home side. Shawunmi showing what he can do back to goal, and it was really that overlaying run from Albert Dikwa that allowed him that time, that space. Shows how smart, how intelligent of a player he is. Most players would have just peeled off away from goal. Instead, he makes that creative run, finds himself in some open space, and Shawunmi just selfless in front of goal.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Guillen is the one that's injured, but it's actually Dayon Harris who's been taken off here. Well, that would lead me to believe that Aaron Guillen, for now, is going to try and play through this. We will see. He looked like he was in a lot of pain. But Caputo is on for Harris. And that is all that's been changed so far for Nicky Law's boys. Guillen comes off very slowly. We'll see if one change might become 2 here. Well, Guillen is going to try to play on for now. We will keep an eye on that. So again, just to confirm, and we apologize for the confusion, Caputo came on for Dayon Harris. So his day is done. Aaron Guillen looked to be hurt. Looked like he was in a lot of pain, but he's going to play through it for now for the Rowdies. Guillen is back on, and it's back to 11 versus 11. Ball floated into Pittsburgh's penalty area. Easy enough for the Jamaican Jamali Waite. And he threads the ball beautifully through the center to find Shawunmi.
What a pass.
Rivera has Shawunmi, And he nearly found him. Shawami can get to the second ball here. Dikwa. Ibarra crossing it into the middle, and the arriving player was Biasi. Couldn't get his head to it.
Much better from Tampa Bay in the box.
One back though by Forbes. Biasi. We'll play it back to Ordonez. Rivera. Dikwa let that run between his legs, but pass was picked off, and it's a Rowdies throw. Rowdies do have 4 wins out of 10 road games this season. And again, besides maybe Sac Republic, not many have a better home record than the Riverhounds do. 8 wins out of 12, with just the 1 defeat against Indy 11. That ball's going to float out of play. Bob Lilly collects and is near touchline.
For safety and consideration of all of our guests, we ask for your full cooperation. Thank you for keeping Highmark Stadium safe and smoke-free.
Steel Army in full voice, as always, here at Highmark. One of the best supporter sections in the league, if not the best. Forbes tried to pick out Dikwa and appreciated the pass. It's in the hands of Connor Sparrow.
And right now, if you're Tampa Bay, they just haven't really been able to relieve pressure. They do the hard work. They make the recovery runs just to give it back to Pittsburgh. Now with the ball in the hands of your goalkeeper, can you challenge for this first ball and collect the second and really try to establish some type of momentum?
Maybe a chance here for the Rowdies. Dennis is in! And the flag is up. Wouldn't have counted. But just like that, the Rowdies played through Pittsburgh there. But even if it would have gone in, the flag would have negated the chance.
Yeah, one of the things that makes this Tampa Bay Rowdies team so dangerous is their ability to go forward and go forward quickly. It was a great diagonal ball into the box. Charlie Dennis just mistimed his run a bit. And although they're a team that really likes to have possession, and really the more that they have of the ball, the more comfortable they get in every match that they play, they are still a team that 1-2 passes and they can be in your 18-yard box.
It was Connor Antley who played that dynamic ball into the penalty area, but in the end, it fizzled out as far as the attack was concerned for the Rowdies.
Yeah, and honestly, we haven't seen, I think that's the first time we've seen Connor Antley really get involved in the attack. He's typically a player that is so explosive off that back line, but that is credit to Shawami and Dikwa and their ability right now to pull apart this Rowdies back line, force them to deal with their defensive responsibilities. It's really keeping players like Connor Antley at bay.
Here's Biasi. Forbes had no room, has Dos Santos in support. Ordonez loves to play those long balls in behind. Pittsburgh asking for a throw in there. It's going to go the Tampa Bay's way on the near side. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2023, whether your club is on the road or at home. Catch nearly every second of the USL Championship action on ESPN+, the home of USL, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. Really another chance for Albert Dikwa in the meantime. In the end, it's out for a goal kick.
Not the camera guy.
Right into our living room, almost there. Your living room's at home. Ooh, LaCava taken out by Rivera. Yellow card comes out. First booking for either side. We get a chance to take a second glance at that late challenge, it looked like, from Rivera. LaCava is still down. Referee Jeremy Shear has a talking to with Rivera as well.
That's just a boot to the stomach.
Well, I'd be curious to see if he got any of the ball.
That would be a no.
As he
I
swung
can tell
through.
you that right now. No. No.
Well, then I ask you, was the color of the card correct?
Yes, because the ball was there, right? Like his foot, his leg was already in motion, but the way that the ball changed planes, changed trajectory was unfortunate for Jake LaCava that it just happened to be his stomach that took the brunt of that one, but no malintent there.
Well, maybe Tampa Bay had a different view of that, not sure. I mean, sometimes those go down as orange cards, a little bit in the middle. Just a yellow.
I like that.
And we play on. Here is LaCava. Going right back to work for the Rowdies. Gets past Ordonez. LaCava into the penalty area, but the ball goes out of play. And it's a goal kick. A little bit of frustration from the Rowdies on the back end of that, although Jake LaCava wasn't happy with something as far as the referee is concerned.
Yeah, Jake LaCava trying to say that the ball wasn't out of bounds, trying to tell the referee he didn't have positioning to call it. Referee telling him, sir, the AR called it. And there's the look. No ball, as mentioned before, all stomach. Jake LaCava didn't seem to lose any speed on that last attack.
It's one of those that if we had VAR, I'd be very curious to see if Jeremy Shear would have changed his mind on that. But we don't, and the game continues. Rowdies had to make an early substitution with Caputo coming on for Deon Harris. Haven't seen much from Aaron Guillen since he came back on after dealing with an injury issue. We'll see how he plays through. Wonder if it's one of those things where Nicky Law's going to wait to see at halftime if Aaron Guillen can continue for the full 90, at least deeper into the second half for Tampa Bay.
I don't want to pull a player like Guillen off the field sooner than you know he needs to come off. Really such a vital player to their back line, and with the way that Shuanmi and Dikwa have been playing today, the way that they have been moving off the ball, you really need all your top guys out there on the field. Again, to our point about the open, I wonder how different this would look perhaps with Lasso back in his normal spot.
Albert Dikwa scored his 11th goal of the season back in the 3rd minute. Tampa Bay's managed the game well since then, but haven't created a ton of chances, and that's because Pittsburgh has defended extremely well, as we've come to expect. That's what Bob Lilly always preaches to us when we talk with him week after week about getting the lead and then taking it from there. When Pittsburgh, and again, we saw last game, they can certainly play without the lead, that's for sure, but Sparrow nearly has some trouble there with Dikwa. But when Pittsburgh can take the lead, that's when they can be at their best and they can take the life out of a game and slowly but surely glide their way to victory, as they've done so many times this season. Before the game, we actually took a look back at Pittsburgh's season because they've had so many big results in multiple competitions, and I wouldn't say it's quite an NCAA tournament resume, but the laundry list of Pittsburgh victories has just been incredible to behold this season, at home in particular. Just some of the highlights. Birmingham have come here, Columbus Crew of MLS have come here, Phoenix, Charleston, San Diego, Detroit, Memphis, and RGV. Pittsburgh has beaten all of them. Louisville came here, got a draw. Sacramento came here, red hot. They only left with a point. And you throw on top of that road wins at Memphis, at Louisville, and at New England in the Open Cup, MLS side. Bruce Arena is New England. Not sure if it's as good as that Levance Fields Pitt Panther side back in the day on the men's hoop side, but I'd say it's a top 4 seed. And could be the top seed in the East when it's all said and done. Just talk about a murderer's row of opponents that have come to Highmark this season, and only Indy 11 has left with all 3 points.
Yeah, of that list you said, that is not the team that I would have picked to do it.
I don't think you're the only one.
Yeah.
Again, really the only other team that's got a similar resume is Sac Republic. They also have a stellar home record. And we'll have them later on tonight. Monterey Bay hosting Sac Republic in Seaside. Monterey Bay is the only team that's gone to Sac Republic and won this season. Another odd stat, but it's how it goes in this league from time to time as Bob Lilly continues to take charge on that sideline.
Yep, you said it. If Monterey Bay pulls it out of their hat tonight,
yeah,
coaches are going to be calling Frank Yallop. What's the elixir?
How do you keep doing it, Frank? We'll find out later on tonight. Dennis, in the meantime, good ball into the penalty area. Well dealt with, I should say, by Ordonez with his head. Recycled by Armin. Looks to float this back into the penalty area. Header is central. Another chance maybe for Kleeman to get his head to it. Dennis tries to get a boot as well. In the end, Pittsburgh do clear their lines. Ibarra just pinging it ahead for Deekwa to chase. Sparrow couldn't get his hands onto that, but he just delicately heads it out of trouble. Well, clearly Connor Sparrow has been given quite a bit of license to just sweeper keeper at the back, for lack of a better term. He's always well off of his line on those long balls in behind that Bob Lilly's defenders like to play. Three minutes and change left in the half. Dennis, dealt with by Farrell, although he was asking the referee for a spot kick, nothing doing. Griffin's header gives it right back to the Rowdies. But on the back end here, Albert Deekwa is struggling. I think that was Kleeman who went through the back of him after the Farrell clearance. Another look.
Yeah, to be fair to Freddie Kleeman, he has made this game a lot more physical than in the opening minutes. I think he has realized exactly what Deekwa and Shawami are capable of. And there hasn't been many challenges since that opening goal that Kleeman hasn't had his hands in the back of the challenging forwards. As he should. That's his job as a center back, to make their life difficult, make them not want to receive the ball at their feet. And that is a challenge that will do just that.
Mike's Beer Bar isn't only the home to the famous Steak on the Stone, but also the official watch party location of your Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Meet me at Mike's. Deekwa is getting ready to come back on for Pittsburgh. And it's back to full strength for both sides. Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder, our entire crew here with you. It's been a very interesting and enthralling contest so far. One that Pittsburgh's had the better of for nearly 45 minutes. LaCava through for Williams. It's J.J. Williams, who we haven't talked about much tonight, but he gets his first shot of the game away, parried away by Jamali Waite. Chance for Armin on a recycle. Sends it right back into the middle. Nobody there in white to really attack it. And Luke Biasi gives away a throw on the far side. Well, it was from a difficult angle, but J.J. Williams forced a save out of Jamali Waite. Doherty is nearly forced back. A little give and go with Caputo. Now Dennis. Dennis again, not a lot of time to maneuver. He's dispossessed. And Dos Santos clears.
Ladies and gentlemen, there will be 6
Gonna have 6 added minutes at the end of this first half. With Pittsburgh out in front. A Dikwa goal to nil. It's going to go out of play for a throw on the far side. Here's the earlier effort from J.J. Williams.
Yeah, you mentioned it. We haven't called his name quite enough, but magical when he gets the ball at his feet, forcing Waite to be honest to that near post. Tried to catch him cheating to the back post. Waite, who has been stellar all season, comes up big with that save.
Now Rivera nearly stayed with that and wins a free kick. And a little bit of tempers fraying on the back end of that. Ibarra and LaCava. And LaCava sees yellow for dissent.
He's been giving the referee an earful all night, really, since that challenge with Rivera. After that, we saw him dribble the ball out of bounds. He questioned that call, told the referee not in position to make that call. And then this one, he just had enough. Gets Rivera in the back. Rivera does miss his footing just a bit, sells it. LaCava very, very frustrated right now with the officiating.
Ball is sent into the penalty area, and this time Sparrow is off his line again. But again, he reads it well and collects. Ball floated down this near side, well swept away by Ordonez. Rivera tried to find Shawunmi. A lot of times Bob Lilly will play one or the other, Shawunmi or Dikwa, but he's played them both tonight, and they had a nice partnership together as a duo of attacking strikers, especially on the goal, of course. Pass astray there, looking for Griffin. Gonna play into the 51st minute, so there's still time for one of these two teams to change the scoreboard before the halftime interval. LaCava. Nice support from his back line. A little bit of pressure from Bernardo Forbes. The Rowdies play through it. Ball is sent into the penalty area over the head of Charlie Dennis and kept in to be collected by Jamali Waite. Well, the last two meetings between these two, at Highmark in particular, have been memorable. We talked about the 5-2 win that the Rowdies had here last season. It's their only win at Highmark in the club's history, but the year before that, Russell Cicerone converted a huge penalty in the latter stages of that game. Danny Vitiello had a huge penalty save at the Steel Army end at Highmark, and Pittsburgh beat Tampa Bay 2-0 on that night. I guess what I'm trying to say is stick with us. It's going to get good in the second half, if not at the end of the first half. We've already had some good moments in this first half. Sometimes just two teams, when they get together, fireworks ensue, and these are two of those teams.
Yeah, I think it's the elephant in the room as well. You know, coaches, players, they never want to say that they look at the standings or care too much about it, right? They just take one game as it comes, but it is inevitable. Each player knows what's at stake tonight at #1 spot in the East.
Gorgeous touch by Forbes, plays in Dikwa. Show on me in support. Show on me looking to get it back to Dikwa. Sparrow comes and collects. Outnumbered there, the attacking duo, and they nearly created a chance.
I think if Shawami had to do that one over again, he would play just a simple pass on the ground on the right side, our right side, Guillen's left side. That's exactly where Dikwa was making his run. Instead, he tries to go for that little scoop, and it allowed Sparrow to come off his line like we have seen him do the entire night. He's not going to let space like that be eaten up.
Ordonez in front of LaCava. Ordonez not once but twice stepping in for Pittsburgh. Forbes just got past 50 assists as a Riverhound in the win over Memphis. Also recently got to 250 appearances and over 20,000, I should say. 20,000 minutes of regular season action, Kenardo Forbes. 3 incredible milestones in a 2 or 3 game stretch. That ball was kept in all the way back for Sparrow in the end by Armin. Not sure he meant to do that. In the end, Pittsburgh will reset at the back with their goalkeeper. Six added minutes are just about up at the end of this first half. Ordonez clears, nearly finds Dikwa, and Kleeman finds Sparrow. And that's how the half ends here at Highmark. Brilliant start to the game for Pittsburgh in particular. Albert Dikwa scoring inside of 3 minutes. It's been the only moment of goal scoring so far, but a big second half is still to come, Marion.
Yes, I think Shawanmi and Dikwa have been the game changers. You mentioned it. They are playing so in sync right now, pulling the back three of the Rowdies apart, but really the wing backs for Pittsburgh causing a lot of problems. Distributors of the ball, extra defenders. I think Tampa Bay are playing a bit too slowly. They're inviting those pockets of pressure. If they can play a bit more fast-paced, they can find some seams in the second half.
It has been a blockbuster half between these two so far. It was a brilliant beginning of the game for the Riverhounds. They've stayed in control for now. Few moments for the Rowdies in the attack, but at the half, it is Pittsburgh 1, Tampa Bay 0. Halftime from Highmark is coming up next.
Cheer on the Riverhounds all season long at Mike's Beer Bar, Pittsburgh's home for local beer. With 21 TVs, over 300 local beers, and amazing food, Mike's is the place to be. Tell your friends to meet me at Mike's, Federal Street, right across from PNC Park.
Pittsburgh, stop breathing dirty air and contaminants trapped in your home's air ducts and dryer vents. Call Sears Air Duct and Carpet Cleaning or go to SearsClean.com. Our professionals will clean and disinfect your home's air ducts with powerful high-pressure vacuum equipment that cleans the air your family breathes. We love our pets, but their hair and dander get trapped in your air ducts and their odors in your carpets and on upholstery. Sears can clean it away. Call Sears Air Duct and Carpet Cleaning for a healthier home. Go to SearsClean.com.
There was a break in the vehicles and a truck came through I never seen until it was right here.
At Edgar Snyder, we run the law firm like a family, and we're structured to represent clients in a family-like setting.
Because whenever you're sitting there with a broken leg and a broken shoulder and all this, you don't have time to do that. You just need to get well. And that's what I was doing, and Edgar was taking care of the rest. The stereotype that lawyers get, you need to lose that, because that's not here. Not with Edgar Snyder. No way.
Back here at the half at Highmark. Halftime is brought to you by Highmark Health. Pittsburgh leads by 1-0 over Tampa Bay. And this time we will take a chance to look deeper into Bernardo Forbes and his 250th league appearance and his remarkable career in the USL Championship. Sean and Marion back here with you. What a career Bernardo Forbes has had. We know he's the assist king, but he's added 2 more great achievements to his resume.
20,000 minutes played in USL Championship and the all-time assist leader. Guy's a legend. They don't call him King Kenny for no reason.
You're not kidding either. He really has had a tremendous, tremendous career. Pittsburgh got off to a tremendous start. They lead by 1-0 over Tampa Bay. We'll look around the league and more coming up next.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Returned from the Museum of Play. The fairy tale forest, Berenstein Bear Treehouse, superhero universe, it must all be mine! Did you know they have a whole room full of pinball machines? Did you? And that video game arcade? So cool! Oh, I'll be back, Museum of Play!
With so much to do and see, everyone loves the strong National Museum of Play in Rochester, New York.
Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder back here with you at the half in Pittsburgh. The Riverhounds leading the Rowdies by 1-0. Albert Dequa scoring in the 3rd minute. And we'll get you out to the second half in just a few moments. But first and foremost, let's look around the league in the USL Championship. And we start by looking at the news and notes. And the defending champions are starting to turn a corner. San Antonio have been in good form recently, and so have the San Diego Loyal under Nate Miller. They're starting to turn a corner as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The Loyal currently sitting at number 2 in the power rankings. Always love those from the USL staff. And then just a reminder, shameless plug, USL on ESPN2, Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC versus FC Tulsa. That'll be the summer showcase happening next Wednesday. I'll be there. I'm excited. Here it's an incredible atmosphere.
It's awesome. Widener Field is going to be great. And again, Marion's going to be there. You might want to tune
plug.
in.
Look, I said it.
We can't wait for it. Look at the live scores from around the league. What stands out? Miami's got the lead in New Mexico out in front as well.
Yeah, but look at Memphis, 901 FC. Look, they had a brilliant first 20 minutes here at Pittsburgh. Not an easy place to play. They are up at the half, 1 over Indy 11, and then New Mexico United getting it done. Hartford Athletic struggling a little bit right now. Can't seem to find their footing, but New Mexico United also a team that could really make a push.
Miami and Indy in particular need those results on the edge of the playoff chase in the Eastern Conference. Another shameless plug tonight, Monterey Bay Sac Republic. Marion and I will be on the call. Tune in for that. And then, of course, San Diego, Orange County. The Orange County boys have been really playing well lately also.
We have got all the California showdowns for you tonight. Look, Monterey Bay, we said it. They seem to have figured it out when it comes to Sac Republic. Can they do it again? And then always such an entertaining match when San Diego Loyal SC and Orange County SC meet up together. Who knows what's going to happen tonight?
Phoenix, San Antonio. If you want to stay up late, you should. That's going to be a very enthralling encounter as well in the wild and wacky Western Conference. We'll take a break. Pittsburgh lead Tampa Bay by 1-0. Highlights, stats, and the second half are all coming up next.
Ain't no better feeling than a cold one in my hand. That's why I'll be keeping Iron City in my plans. Oh, everywhere I roam, I'll be thinking about my home. Sitting pouring on the iron right before I go to rest. And when I'm laying in my bed, there's only one thing in my head. Just an ice cold can of Pittsburgh, PA's best.
It's 412 Celebrity Night at Highmark Stadium. Meet two-time Super Bowl champion Ike Taylor and get autographs until halftime as the Pittsburgh Riverhounds host Hartford at 7 p.m. Enjoy live music and food specials pregame and enjoy a night of pro soccer in Station Square. Tickets start at just $18. Get yours today at riverhounds.com. That's riverhounds.com.
This is the life.
Hey, Gus, we're gonna play horse.
How about a game of Gus? Winner gets the PA Lottery's $3 million fun fortune.
Oh.
Yeah.
I won!
Actually, you both did. Keep on scratching. Cannonball!
Virginia is for road trippers, are we there yetters, mountain hikers, and dock sitters because they're not active hikers, people who are kayakers, people who are not kayakers, campsite campers, and horseback riders. Wow, there's a lot to fit in here. Flatwater lovers, beach suntanners, hole in earth explorers, and Shenandoah Valleyers. Oh, and look at these brave souls. No way, that is not for me. So I guess what I'm saying is Virginia's for all sorts of lovers. So come love it for yourself.
Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder back here with you at the half between Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay. Really fun contest so far. The Riverhounds have a 1-0 lead over the Rowdies. First versus third in the Eastern Conference has been very enticing so far. We'll get to the second half in just a few moments. But first, we recap the first 45 with our halftime highlights, and we start in the third minute with Pittsburgh's opening goal.
Did not take long for this match to heat up. Ordonez with a brilliant interception in the middle part of the field. Shawami calm, cool, collected, playing back to goal. A split of a run, and those two have been making it look easy all night. Shawami to Dikwa, you mentioned it. Typically a pairing that we see one or the other. Putting them together has seemingly worked perfectly for Bob Lilly and his squad. This put Pittsburgh on the board, up 1-0 early. We move all the way to the 21st minute, and this is exactly exactly what Tampa Bay needs to do in the second half. They have been at their best when they're playing one or two touches, building off the sidelines, and trying to get services in the box. Otherwise, Pittsburgh has done an incredible job of forming these pockets of pressure and forcing them into mistakes. That was one time that we saw Tampa Bay execute cleanly. And then into the 26th minute, I love this. Joe Farrell getting forward as the center back. Why not? Make him press you. And Danny Rivera has been electric. Both of the wingbacks for Pittsburgh have been dangerous. It is the distribution, pinpoint, and then an unmarked Dikwa on the back stick cannot be allowed to happen, as you see Connor Sparrow getting into his team. The 44th minute, Jake LaCava on the ball. We saw some frustration from him, but also some good things in the attack. But that man does not take long for him to make a name for himself. J.J. Williams, seeing how fancy he can be with the footwork, keeping Wade honest to that near post. And my, oh my, I think we have a fantastic second half ahead of us.
Halftime match stats look like this. Just one shot on target for each team. Just one shot total for the Rowdies. It was that J.J. Williams attempt that you just saw, and despite all the possession that Nicky Law's side has had, they haven't done a ton with it, and Pittsburgh have done well to manage the game after they took the lead.
Couldn't agree more. It hasn't really been purposeful from Tampa Bay. It's a lot of clearances and a lot of losing the first and second balls. I think that's going to be the key for them. Can you challenge for the first, collect the second, and then find your outlets wide in order to go forward?
Big 45 minutes still to come. Can't stress it enough. Top of the table is at stake tonight. Pittsburgh trying to put some more space between themselves and the likes of Charleston, Tampa Bay, Lou City, who are all right there. Perfect time to look at the standings at the moment in the East. These are live, so if it stays like this, Pittsburgh could open up a 5-point advantage at the top of the Eastern Conference, and Tampa Bay in particular would be 6 points back. Long way to go, we know that, but it would be a massive result. Bob Lilly talked about it before the Memphis game as well. Head-to-head, as far as the tiebreakers, could be huge as far as seeding, and for the teams a little bit further down the table, just getting into the postseason, all that could be very paramount when we get towards September, and more particularly in October when the playoffs kick off. Another electric atmosphere here at Highmark. It's one of the best venues in the USL Championship. Another big night in the Steel City in the USL Championship, and so far it has been the Hounds who have dictated things. And the second half is underway with the Riverhounds in possession of the ball and the lead here at Highmark. Dikwa's goal in the 3rd minute has Bob Lilly's boys in front. Tampa Bay looking to find a response in the second half. A very quick start, just like at the beginning of the first half. Tola Shoanmi wins a corner for the Hounds inside of 20 seconds.
Riverhounds fans, it's time for a Quantum Spirits.
And that means it's King Kenny's time to come over and take this set piece for Pittsburgh. See if the Hounds can add on to their goal advantage. As Canardo Forbes have up his sleeve. Ball is played in, headed away by J.J. Williams. Right back out for a Hounds throw. Had a lot of sunshine in the first half, but we are starting to get to the late hours here in the Steel City. Lights are on here at Highmark. And it's a Tampa Bay throw on the far side. No changes for either side at the half, although again, Tampa Bay did make a first half substitution. Harris came off, Caputo came on. That is still the only substitution of the game so far. Danny Rivera, Jake LaCava, both sitting on yellow cards. Also worth keeping in mind as the match moves along. Ekra for Tampa Bay, Armin in support. Guillen, who's done well since he dealt with the injury earlier in the first half. At one point we thought he was coming off, didn't happen. He's played on rather nicely for the Rowdies. That pass is astray, looking for LaCava, and Pittsburgh gets it back. Dos Santos weaves it through for Ibarra, who does the same for Dikwa. Forbes lets it run. Rivera curling it in for Dikwa, who heads it down but heads it wide of Sparrow's goal.
And again, Rivera not taking long to heat up in the second half. Dikwa just going up, determined to get that challenge.
Ekra versus Doherty back. Kleeman. We talked about how the Rowdies had 60% possession in the first half, but didn't do a ton with it in the attacking third. We'll see if they can change that in the second half. This is Antley being alive for Dennis, Doherty. And it's forced all the way back to Kleeman for a reset.
Connor Antley and Jordan Doherty doing a little bit of a swap on the right-hand side. Antley going to be more of an attacking threat. He struggled to get on the ball. Very unlikely, very uncharacteristic of him, excuse me. Typically, we see him exploding off that back line and players falling in to fill the space that he vacates. Instead, in order to make his life a little bit easier, Nicky Law knows how important he is to the attack, decides to push him a little more forwards up the field.
Dennis is fouled, and it's a Tampa Bay free kick. Nicky Law, curious to see what his halftime team talk was for the Rowdies. Can they make something out of this with a set piece opportunity and the beautiful left boot of Charlie Dennis standing over it? He's come a long way from his FC Tucson days in USL League One. Charlie Dennis, make no mistake about that. Lofts in a ball into the penalty area here. It's headed out of play, and the Rowdies will get a corner out of it for Dennis to trot over and take as well.
Target on that was JJ Williams, no question about it, making the late back post run. Earns his team a corner kick. We've seen just how desperate the Rowdies approach these set pieces. You'll have bodies flying, multiple players attacking the ball. Rowdies need to be sharp and hunt this one.
Dennis, it's a dangerous ball. Antley got ahead to it, but couldn't put it on target.
And it was an overload of players to the front post. All except for Connor Antley. A nice little outswinger. You see the multitude of white jerseys near that front post trying to draw most of the Riverhounds that way. And Antley still with two on him, goes up and gets that one.
Rowdies win it back. Caputo to Doherty. Doherty pursued by Forbes. Antley nearly served it through for Dennis. Williams picks up the pieces. Arman for LaCava. And Caputo. Good purposeful movement here from the Rowdies with the ball in possession, and then LaCava a little too firm on his first touch, and he gives away possession.
But so much better. You saw just how much faster they were playing. 1-2 touches, players making really dynamic, efficient movements off the ball. That whole entire sequence was exactly what the Rowdies were missing in the first 45 minutes.
Pittsburgh thought there was a handball earlier in the build-up, and then Charlie Dennis went for an equalizing goal and skied his shot. But encouragement from Nicky Law and his staff.
Yep, already a much better approach in the build-up. Charlie Dennis just finds himself in a little half pocket of space. His prep touch was beautiful. Couldn't have asked for anything better. And as you see, he just gets under it. Kind of popped up on him a little bit. Chest is over it, or chest is up instead of over it. Skies that one high. Typically a player that you know can strike from distance.
Dikwa won the second ball as it fell to him. Forbes was the target of this ball in the middle, and he nearly read that as Antley headed it back to Sparrow. There's been a few moments like that from both teams throughout the game. A few close calls. Well, the Rowdies have had a few more with Sparrow's adventures around the penalty area tonight. But all successful ones, it must be said. Here's Armin again for Tampa Bay, out wide for LaCava. LaCava trying to find Armin again, who keeps it in, but in the end, it's going to trickle nicely into the path of Jamali Waite for Pittsburgh. Bob Lilly in the past has talked with us through these exact scenarios in a game. Getting the early goal, dictating the tempo by keeping your opponents off the scoreboard, but then finding the killer goals after that to put the game away. And that's what really is the next step for the Riverhounds from their perspective to try to win this game as the Rowdies are in search of an equalizer. Accra dispossessed. Forbes from Shawonmi. Here's Biasi. Biasi assesses his options. Looked for space. Forbes is in support. Forbes pings one into the penalty area. It's headed out for a Rivera recycle. Ordonez curling one towards Shawonmi. Lovely layoff, and Dikwa blocked by Kleeman. Rivera had Ibarra for a moment, has Ordonez now. Still Ordonez, it's still Ordonez. He tries a shot. Griffin tried to find Forbes, and the Rowdies finally come out with it through Dennis. Well, Shawonmi and Dikwa nearly being that dynamic duo again. Nearly came off for them. Great block from Kleeman for the Rowdies on the defensive side of things. And then was there a nudge in the back on Dikwa? Referee allows play to continue here. Shawonmi battling for possession in front of his coach, Bob Lilly. And it's kept in for Biasi.
That's just tremendous individual effort from Shawonmi.
Farrell slipped as he struck it, but he put it on a plate for Dikwa. In the end, the Rowdies win it back through Jan Ekra. Now Jordan Doherty. Still Doherty. Antley helped him further along. Ball into the middle, bit of miscommunication there, but Ordonez does the job, and it's a Rowdies throw.
Excellent combination play on this right-hand side. All that buildup was missing was that dashing near post run. That's one that would have dropped perfectly. Just a little toe poke to redirect it. Goes in, spinning to the near post. I see it all in my head. The run just wasn't quite there. And here it is, Doherty and Antley. This switch already for the Rowdies has proved very fruitful in their build-up, and it was an excellent delivery. Just again, had no one at the near post, but earns a corner kick nonetheless. Throw in.
I beg your pardon, it was a throw in the end. Referee pointed, looked like for a corner, but in the end it was changed to a long throw, and the Rowdies reset with Guillen. Armin into the penalty area, but the only man close to it is Jamali Waite. We were taking a gander at the scores from around the leagues at half. There has been one change. Indy 11 have equalized against Memphis. 1-1 at the mic. Miami still leading 2-0. New Mexico still leading 1-0 at Hartford. And it's still 1-0 here at Highmark.
Memphis all of a sudden having flashbacks of what was done to them just a week ago on this very field. Went up 2-0 at the half. Ended up losing 4-2 that game. Got to give credit where credit is due. Bob Lilly's side came out determined in the second half.
Oh, lovely ball guided through, but Sparrow's been doing that all night. Comes off his line and deals with it. And then there's a foul going to go against Pittsburgh here.
Rivera needs to be careful, already sitting on a yellow. Late challenges like that, little clips here and there.
And maybe the referee giving him his last warning there, as Guillen is shaken up for a second time tonight.
Yep, that's going to be Rivera's last talking to before a yellow and a subsequent red comes out of the book. Referee right now being pretty patient, a lot more patient than what we've seen from various officials across the league. And man, how that would change the game.
And Nicky Law was having a word with the fourth official as to why Danny Rivera was still on the pitch, and
can't say I blame him.
The question I think needed to be asked, to your point. And in the end, just a talking to, you would think, a last talking to Rivera. And he has the ball in his hands with 31 minutes of the 90 left in this big Eastern Conference tilt. Chested down by Ekra in the possession of Armin. Kleeman. Feels like we've seen this a lot. Tampa Bay trying to find space in behind Pittsburgh's defensive shape, and then they tend to give the ball away, as they just did there. Not able to really find any opportunities. But then again, they can win the ball back here. LaCava nearly got through. J.J. Williams picks up the pieces. Armin back across the middle. And Biasi is able to clear it out of the penalty area, only as far as Doherty. And then Antley wins a throw for the Rowdies. Comes a long throw from Antley. Near the 6-yard box, Williams went up for it for the Rowdies. Didn't really get a chance to redirect it on target. And again, it's a Tampa Bay recycle. Nice run from Guillen, gets past two Rowdies, beg your pardon, Riverhounds defenders. Antley plays it central, but it's a well-defended step there. Ibarra closing down. In the end, it's going to be a Pittsburgh throw. Nicky Law tried to give it to Charlie Dennis. On this occasion, it is going to go the way of the Hounds. USL's second annual summer showcase signals the start of the sprint to the finish. Philip Goodrum and FC Tulsa head west to take on Romario Williams and the Switchbacks of Colorado Springs. It's FC Tulsa, it's Switchbacks FC. It's Wednesday, August 9th, 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Now Bob Lilly not thrilled with the last passage of play. It's a free kick for Forbes to take, and the Riverhounds get back to work. It was nearly threaded through again, looking for Showunmi, and Deco was in the area as well. Well, something's going to have to give in these last 28 minutes. Can the Riverhounds finish off the job, or are the Rowdies going to come from behind? Good hold-up play from the goal scorer, Dikwa. Here's Ibarra. Farrell for Biasi. All played into the path of Danny Griffin. Could fall for Ibarra here. Charlie Dennis, did he leave an arm out there? Referee allows play to continue. Advantage is played. Ibarra. Biasi. Biasi sends it into the penalty area. It was nearly a chance at the back post for Forbes, but Forbes is penalized. And it is a Tampa Bay free kick. A couple of Bob Lilly changes upcoming. Danny Rivera is going to come off for Edward Kizza. Looks like Langston Blackstock. He's going to come on as well.
I like that sub for Rivera. Bob Lilly being smart with one of his best players, one of his most versatile players, does not want to chance him getting a red. We mentioned it got his last talking to of the officiating crew before probably seeing the next color in the referee's pocket. So smart substitution for him. And Tola Shawanmi, take a bow. What a performance, what a showing tonight from him. Said it once, say it again. Typically, you do not see these two players on the field at the same time, Dikwa and Shawanmi. And tonight was something magical, something that I think that we can see so much more of in the future. Players playing perfectly in sync with each other. Shawanmi really playing back to goal well, and Dikwa making the runs off of him.
Blackstock, where Rivera played, into the middle, Ibarra! And it took multiple deflections on the way through. It's out for a goal kick.
Welcome to the game, sir. First 30 seconds in, why not do you one? Gets in line, makes an easy slot pass back. And Mark Ibarra, what a player he has been so far for the Riverhounds, trying to get his name on the score sheet. He has been doing so much of the defensive work in that middle block of the field. Nice to see him getting forward into the attack. What a dynamic player. And already substitutions making an impact. That's what you love to see as a head coach.
Once again, the Riverhounds' depth on full display as it has been all season long. Danny Rivera is just a fixture with the Riverhounds. He scored his first ever goal as a pro against Memphis after 98 appearances. He gets taken off as the flag is up here on the far side. Langston Blackstock comes on, and it's as if the level didn't change one bit. We did ask Bob Lilly about how he wanted this game to start. Remember, Albert Dikwa scored for Pittsburgh inside of 3 minutes, and he said there's a lot of tension in big games. His players want to pace themselves into a big game. He said, but that's not always what a game requires. So you can't let your opponents feel comfortable. That's exactly how the Riverhounds started the game and how they've dictated the tempo ever since.
I'll go back to the keys of the game. You know, for Pittsburgh, it was be the aggressor. Tampa Bay obviously dictate the pace as they do more of that in the second half. But it was an interesting conversation that we had with Bob Lilly, but because you want to congratulate your team for that incredible comeback that they had a week ago. But at the same time, when your head coach has been preaching something specific, which was start better, start faster, start stronger, and that still isn't getting done, you kind of have this we have more to do feeling about you when you go into training the next week. And now they have finally done what Bob Lilly has asked. They've started faster, they've started stronger, they've started better. For them now to make this a full professional performance, you've got to see a game like this out at home.
And Bob Lilly also talked about how Memphis game was big to keep it at 2-0. They got the goal to make it 2-1, and then the game completely changed in the second half. And by the hour mark, Pittsburgh were up 4-2 in that game. And of course, the prior two games, Charleston and Indy, they were 2-0 down, but they weren't able to score before those two teams added a third, and then the game was too far gone for them to get back into it. They made the adjustments against Memphis. They won, and they've carried that into tonight's game against the Rowdies. And they have the lead with 22 minutes left.
The official watch party location of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Come by on Wednesday, August 16th at 7:30.
We've talked with Bob Lilly a couple of times this year about the success he's had, not only with this year's team, but with past year's teams. And he can be very diplomatic at times. Bob Lilly doesn't always like to...
I'm like, you can brag on yourself, man.
Doesn't always like to do that. He's very humble, Bob Lilly. Always wants to focus on his team's next game and what's best for his team, which is very commendable. I remember even asking him about the New England win in the Open Cup. They beat Bruce Arena's New England. For those that don't know, Bruce Arena has as good of a resume as any American coach ever. And Bob Lilly said, yeah, the boys were very happy with it. We were happy with the result, but we've got Columbus in the Open Cup next. We've got league games coming up, and he was just focused on what was next. And what's next has been a very strong Pittsburgh Riverhounds season so far. Want to watch the action from on the field here at Highmark Stadium? If so, make sure to call 412-865-GOLD to reserve the Icy Light Corner Kick Suite today. Dos Santos couldn't quite get to that. Antley has it for the Rowdies. Doherty is forced back. And then Dikwa closes him down and keeps the Rowdies in their own end for now.
Substitution for the Rowdies.
Rowdies will make a change here. Charlie Dennis is going to exit here. And not a bad replacement at all. Cal Jennings, 8 goals, 2 assists to his name this season. Will come on for the last 20 minutes and change.
Charlie Dennis not as involved as we typically see him. Pittsburgh Riverhounds did a great job of plugging those passing channels, plugging the seams into Charlie Dennis's feet. And again, they have really just struggled to build out of the back and retain possession. And sometimes life is hard as a number 10 if you have passing channels that can't be found by your backs, but you also have forwards that are struggling to hold the ball back to goal for you to then get involved. It can be a lonesome night without the ball at your feet as a number 10.
In by Antley, punched by Waite. Out for Arman, who sends it into the Steel Army.
Arman knows that that one has either got to be on frame and force a save, or it's got to be recycled into the box for one of your players to make a play on it. It gives his team no chance there with solid amount of numbers in the box. He knows it's got to be better. You see it from his react. But man, look at the crowd right now. Absolutely electric here.
Steel Army are one of the best. They've been in full voice all night. The league actually put together a piece about the Steel Army and their supporters section. I believe it's on the league's YouTube channel. I've just been told 5,490 people at Highmark is the official attendance tonight. Need I say more? You're not going to get much better than that. And they have been tremendous. They've been in full voice from minute one. Some of them before a ball was even kicked.
Yeah. Just a tremendous sports city, Pittsburgh.
I think sometimes it gets lost in the American sports city rankings. You know, People
I
think
agree.
of New York, they think of Boston, they think of Philly, LA, San Francisco, but you're not going to find many better fans in a sports town than you are going to in Pittsburgh. That is for sure. And that's from top to bottom. Although I already can hear South Florida sports fans saying, well, what about us? We've been winning everything and getting all the finals. Well,
they have a
fair
valid
enough.
point. Yeah.
Fair enough. And Tampa Bay has been a big part of that. No question, although that is North Florida, for those about to also read me out for that.
Can't get away from it.
I guess not.
Every angle.
Trying to cover all my bases here.
Hole just gets deeper and deeper.
Farrell for Ibarra. Well recovered by Blackstock. Great ball by Ordonez. It opens up things for Canardo Forbes. Forbes gets into the penalty area. Biasi's first time ball in, looking for Ibarra, but it's over everybody's head. And Armin will shepherd it out for a Tampa Bay throw.
And it seems small, but that was such a veteran decision by Canardo Forbes to take a few extra touches and force the outside back to stay tucked in. Doing that allowed the winger on the left side to have a lot more space in order to get that service off. Just a veteran player, and you can always see it, how intelligent he is with little decisions like that.
Ibarra. Plays it back for Luke Biasi. Who gets away from J.J. Williams rather nicely. Here's Griffin. All pinged over to that far side. Forbes let it run. Blackstock beaten to it by Armin, and then Armin lost his footing.
That's kind of been the epitome for this Tampa Bay side tonight. Do the hard work, win it back, and silly little mistakes. I know you can't help falling down. It's happened a time or two to different players, or poor giveaways, dribbling out of bounds. Been somewhat of an uncharacteristic performance for Tampa Bay in the build-up.
Forbes' cross is blocked. It's a Hounds corner with 15 minutes of the 90 left. Well, there's still a good chunk of time left in this game. Riverhounds have plenty of work still ahead of them, but this game feels a little bit like that Detroit City game a few weeks ago. Riverhounds scored early inside of a minute. They wore Detroit City down, and then Tola Shounmi scored again to finish off a 2-0 victory. This ball is played in. Farrell nearly got his head to it. 3 assists this season for Luke Biasi. He pings it back into the penalty area for Forbes. First time ball in is dangerous by Blackstock, and Farrell stayed up, but so did Sparrow, and he claims. And Sparrow trying to get LaCava on his bike. Gives possession back to Pittsburgh. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM-FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern, plus your live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more. All on Sirius XM-FC 157 and the SXM app. Kizza hacked down. Free kick for the Hounds, and Pittsburgh is going to make another pair of changes here. Trevor Svetslut, he's going to come on for Nathan Dos Santos, and Pat Hogan, he's going to come on for Kilkenny, Canardo Forbes.
Checking in for the Riverhounds. Firstly coming out, number 3, Pat Hogan. Correction.
Good shift from both Dos Santos and from Kilkenny.
Extremely. Dos Santos was clinical. He won the balls he was supposed to. Positionally was excellent. And Kilkenny had just some moments that we don't call his name a lot in the attack, but so much of what Pittsburgh can do starts from his ability to win the ball in the midfield and just find a few seconds of open air to start everything up. Excellent shift from the both of them.
Doesn't get much better in Pittsburgh than a Mac Miller curtain call on your way out.
That's how you know you've made it, Sean.
It's true.
They don't play that for everybody.
It's a very good point. It really is. All the way back here, Guillen resets. Still time here for the Rowdies to find an equalizing goal, but the Riverhounds have kept them, no pun intended, at bay for a big chunk of this game so far. But Nicky Law is going to make a couple of alterations here to try and change things. Ariel Martinez and Lucky M. Kosana, who scored here a year ago for the Rowdies at Pittsburgh. They're both going to come on here. And J.J. Williams and Jake LaCava are both going to make way for the Rowdies. As you'd expect from the Rowdies and Nicky Law, 2 attacking changes there as they push to try and find an equalizer.
Number 16, Jake LaCava. And into the match goes number 3, Ariel Martinez.
Caputo in for M. Kosana. Kosana tried to get it back to him, and it's a foul and a free kick given away by Trevor Zvetslu.
77, Lucky M. Kosana.
Connor Antley for Martinez. M. Kosana wasn't able to get on the end of it, but it stays with the Rowdies. Can Tampa Bay use this as an opportunity to find a chance? Another long throw up coming from Connor Antley. It is into the mixer, and it's well held by Jamali Waite. Through the traffic, the Jamaican claims it and may have hurt himself a little bit in the process.
A dangerous long throw in from Connor Antley forces Waite to come out and make a save over his own player. Seems like he's holding the inside of his right elbow.
Just see if he are a decent lip reader. He just said his elbow is what is hurting him at the moment. Jonathan Gomez is Pittsburgh's backup goalkeeper tonight. And he is the one who is getting ready just in case he is needed for these last 10 minutes plus stoppage time. Jamali Waite has been such a fixture for the Hounds, especially this season. He continues to develop into a top-class goalkeeper. And besides being at the Gold Cup, he's been Pittsburgh's starter virtually every game. I talked with Bob Lilly about rotating goalkeepers. Luis Zamudio has come here. He's done well in Waite's absence, but Bob Lilly essentially has said to us in the past, if Jamali Waite's available, he plays. And for good reason. Guillen and Dikwa aren't thrilled with the way that passage of play played out. The Rowdies get it via a free kick. One back by Griffin. Here's Kizza. Kizza for Dikwa. Dikwa has Biasi for company. Biasi curls one in. It was towards Kizza. And Kosana sends the Rowdies the other direction. Jennings. Surrounded. Ordonez keeps him honest. And Antley and company will try to play through again. This is Ekra. Again, Pittsburgh seemingly on every challenge, closing down all the spaces that they can. Kizza and Dikwa with some pressure. Martinez. And it's a good challenge from Ibarra, forcing the errant pass. And again, Pittsburgh wins possession back, but they don't keep it for very long.
Tonight's post-game meal partner is Noy's Eatery. Voted the best Italian restaurant in Pittsburgh by the PGH City Paper in Pittsburgh Magazine.
Well, again, if the result holds and there's still time left, Pittsburgh would go 5 points clear at the top of the East. And they'd go 6 points clear of the Rowdies. Great work by Kizza to keep that in play for Pittsburgh. Of course, it's also a big opportunity for the Riverhounds because the battery of the team they would really get the points up on, and they lost against Oakland yesterday. Of course, a Rowdies win would have put them at the top of the table. So that was why there was so much on the line coming into this game, but Pittsburgh has so far handled the business. But there's still time left. Blackstock, first time ball back in by Ordonez and claimed by Sparrow. Just seems like at times tonight, and again, there's still time left for the Rowdies, but the attack is stalled for Tampa Bay at times, and Pittsburgh's had a big reason to do with that. Especially compared to the Tulsa game, the Rowdies have really struggled to find anything of note in the attacking third.
And so much of that is just, number one, the discipline of this Riverhounds side, but there's just been an overload of numbers in the midfield. And that's really where Tampa Bay has struggled to break down. That's where most of the turnovers have come from. And you see them get into a rhythm for 1 or 2 buildups, and then they go away from what worked.
Doherty sends it down the line. Maybe a chance to cross this into the penalty area. It is chipped in towards Mkosana, dealt with by Blackstock. Guillen has it for the Rowdies. Caputo. Doherty. Doherty curls one in, caught by Jamali Waite.
Perfect example of what's been working for you so far has been building on the outside, specifically this right-hand side with Connor Antley. And then they're forced into a half chance of a service where Waite, it's an come out, it's an easy grab. There's not even a run being made into the box. No need to play that there. Just a wishful thinking, a hope, and a dream right now for Tampa Bay.
Well, when Canardo Forbes left, Albert Dikwa got the captain's armband for Pittsburgh, although he is stretching out on that far side. His goal back in the 3rd minute, if you can believe that. He's still the difference for the Hounds. Last night, Lou City picked up a clean sheet, which put them tied with Pittsburgh for the most in the league with 10 this season. The Riverhounds can match. There's still time left. They will go back to the top of the clean sheet race as well. As Blackstock tried to make his way down that far side. Guillen penalized. Free kick for Pittsburgh as they continue to manage this game extremely well.
And here's a look at it on the far left side for the Riverhounds. An arm bar to the neck will get you every time. Absolutely, Guillen has nothing to argue about. And Langston Blackstock has been an immediate impact off the bench for Bob Lilly. Encouraging to see as your head coach. You know, he gave so much credit to the depth of this Tampa Bay side, which is true. They have an immense amount of depth, but so does this Riverhounds team.
We have hyped up the defense for Pittsburgh. Tampa Bay is also one of the best defensive teams in the league. Albert Dikwa's goal was just the 21st goal they've conceded all season. That's the 3rd fewest in the league. Bob Lilly's group have conceded just 20, and Sac Republic have conceded the fewest with 16, if you can believe that. Another ball floated in, and again, the Riverhounds are ready for it. Jamali Waite holds on.
Look, Tampa Bay is a great side. There is no question about it. And this is a game that you just chalk up to it not being your best performance, and you go back to the drawing board and pick apart a few of the things in film that you know that you can do better. For them, they just haven't figured out the numbers in the midfield, and it's been really hard for them to build out of the back. You see it right now, just an overload of jerseys swarming to the ball. And there just hasn't been any change on the field from the players or really from the coaching staff formation-wise. Some personnel changes haven't been as effective as we've seen the Riverhounds on the opposite side make. But again, the game of football is unforgiving, and you can't have a great game every single outing. As Deek was going to take this one into the corner. So yes, learn from what's been going on here tonight, but also realize that you're a great team that has a lot of the season left.
Dequa, as the Riverhounds don't look keen on adding a second here. Biasi goes down. It's going to be a Rowdies throw. Still have a minute and stoppage time left. A little surprised that Pittsburgh didn't try to go for a second goal there. Second time Bob Lilly's made a catch on his near touchline tonight.
Yep, they're trying to be careful on the counter attack right now. Tampa Bay Rowdies have some fast runners on the front line. Don't want to put their back line into a foot race here with only just about stoppage time to go.
That is going to be a Tampa Bay free kick. Dequa put his hands on the ball after thinking, I should say, that he was fouled. Now he's showing Connor Antley where he thought that Antley got him. Well, none of this is going to help the Rowdies as far as time is concerned. We're about to find out how much time there is left. And we have 5 minutes of added time still to play. Can the Riverhounds see this out? Or do the Rowdies have one last trick up their sleeves? Doherty tried to play that down the line. Instead, Caputo for Kleeman. Steel Army trying to cheer the Riverhounds home here, get them over the line. Martinez had it cut out by Hogan. This is exactly where the Riverhounds want it. Dequa to use more clock. Biasi kept in by Dequa with 4 minutes left. Dequa's brought down, and that is a Pittsburgh free kick. And that is going to be the last act for Albert Dequa. His night is done. He is our Heineken man of the match, scored the 3rd-minute goal, his 11th goal of the season, and put in a heck of a shift after that. Robbie Mertz, the local lad, is on to replace him.
And here's a look at just how effective Dequa has been, the difference maker so far in this game. Playing off Shuanmi so well. That one's intercepted by Ordonez in the middle of the park, and then the cheeky little run to find himself in completely open space for a little toe poke goal. And the captain gets a standing ovation as he comes off the field tonight. Well deserved, well earned, hoping that his team can put away these last 4 minutes.
Mertz now has the captain's armband. Robbie Mertz actually came to Riverhounds games at Highmark as a kid. And he's in his 2nd stint with Pittsburgh now as a player. Ibarra gets it away. Tried to slide it through for Kizza, but it didn't quite come off for him. And then Griffin wins it right back. Ibarra for Mertz. Mertz for Biasi. Biasi finds Mertz, but Mertz couldn't quite keep the control. And the Rowdies get it back with just over 2 minutes left. But can they create something, or is Pittsburgh going to finish them off here and see the game out? Ibarra, lovely reverse ball here for Kizza. Kleeman and Sparrow are there to clean it up. Sent forward by Sparrow. Svetslut heads it right back into the path of Ibarra. Kizza. It's played down the line here for Mertz. Mertz is tripped up, and it's another Pittsburgh free kick with just over a minute left.
Here's a look at it. Robbie Mertz going to the corner. Connor Antley trying to do anything he can not to let him get there. Knows that Pittsburgh is all about spinning the clock at this moment, as they should be.
Mertz wins it right back again, and Pittsburgh are nearly there. Well, we talked about the who's who of teams that have come here this season. All but one have left without 3 points in the bag, and it appears that Tampa Bay are about to add themselves to that list. Highmark has continued to be one of the USL Championship's fortresses throughout the season. And the Riverhounds are seconds away from backing up that performance against Memphis with another stellar one against the Rowdies here tonight. It's a goal kick, but Pittsburgh hasn't left Tampa Bay with much time here. Sent ahead by Sparrow. Blackstock wins it back for the Riverhounds. It's all on the referee now. We've had the 5 minutes. Martinez controls for Tampa Bay. We're well into the 96th minute here. And the Rowdies come up with one more chance. Martinez, the substitute. Defended well by Svetslut and cleared by Ibarra. Well, the Steel Army here begging for the whistle. Well, is sent into the penalty area, caught again by Jamali Waite. And surely that will be that. And that is the final act. A Bob Lilly masterclass at Highmark tonight. The Riverhounds take down Tampa Bay by a 0-0. A comprehensive performance from start to finish. The Riverhounds are now 5 points clear at the top of the USL Championship's Eastern Conference. Tampa Bay stay in third, a point behind Charleston in second. And really, from start to finish, Pittsburgh were the better team tonight.
Yeah, that was a proper win at home from Bob Lilly and company. Look, they won every single individual battle. It always felt like there was an extra Pittsburgh Riverhounds player on the field at all times. And Tampa Bay never able to gain a rhythm, largely in part to Pittsburgh's devotion to what the defensive responsibilities were for each player. Could not have asked for a better performance for Bob Lilly and his side tonight at home.
Good respect between the two. As you can see, Antley and Waite sharing a handshake. But in the end, it's Pittsburgh's night. They win it by a 0-0, and we will wrap it all up next.
AHN, we see you juggling 100 things at once.
Seriously.
And slowing down, taking in every moment together. We see you finding time for what's important. And realizing when it's time, you don't have to go far.
We gotta go. Okay, I got you. I can fast.
At AHN, we see you.
It's 412 Celebrity Night at Highmark Stadium. Meet two-time Super Bowl champion Ike Taylor and get autographs until halftime as the Pittsburgh Riverhounds host Hartford at 7 p.m. Enjoy live music and food specials pregame and enjoy a night of pro soccer in Station Square. Tickets start at just $18. Get yours today at riverhounds.com. That's riverhounds.com.
Back here in Pittsburgh, Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder back here with you to wrap things up at Highmark. Albert Dikwa's third-minute goal wins it for the Riverhounds. They're 5 points clear at the top of the East in the USL Championship standings. As you take a look at the full-time highlights here, and we begin with Albert Dikwa's third goal strike.
Yeah, we don't have to go far to see the action. Immediately, once this game gets underway, show on me, Albert Dikwa take no prisoners in this one. They get started early, pulling the center backs apart of the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Guess what? They'd be doing it all night. Get the goal here in the 3rd minute. Shawami playing back to goal. Dikwa making that split run in between the defenders. Easy, clinical finish for a player of his caliber. Then we have to go all the way to the 44th minute. Look, Tampa Bay never really gained a rhythm, but they did have one chance from none other than J.J. Williams, trying to keep Wade honest at that near post. Jake LaCava making the inside run, but Williams, the one showing off the fancy footwork, keeping Wade honest at the near post. That would be just about the only chance for Tampa Bay throughout the rest of the night. 65th minute. And immediately we see in the second half, the Riverhounds doing what they do best, trying to do more of what they did in the first, and Ibarra almost getting his name on the score sheet. My man had a tremendous performance, and he was all over the field, probably the unsung hero of this one.
Full-time match stats look like this. There were no shots on target in the entire second half. Both of those came in the first half, and it really was a defensive masterclass from Bob Lilly and Pittsburgh yet again.
And I think this proves that we always say, yes, possession is important. Look at that 60-40 Tampa Bay's way, but it's not everything. If you can't play possession with a purpose at this level, you're not going to go far. So I think that's what Tampa Bay's got to take back to the drawing board. How can we be more clinical in our build-up?
Well, the game had a lot of hype around it, but in the end, it was Pittsburgh that had it from start to finish here tonight. Dikwa scoring in the 3rd minute was all that the Riverhounds needed. They defended strongly the rest of the way. They kept the Rowdies at bay, and they're now 5 points clear at the top of the Eastern Conference. For Marion Crowder and our entire crew, I'm Sean St. Jacques. We say so long from the Steel City. It is Pittsburgh's night yet again at Highmark, and they win it by 1-0.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.